Do you believe they sacrifice virgin girls? Or do you believe they are the secret power that rules the world? A whisper, a shadow that has been going on for centuries, a legend that when mentioned brings to mind images of mystery, power and world, domination, the Illuminati. According to some, it is a hidden hand that directs human history, while according to others, it is just a figment of imagination, a paranoia. So did the Illuminati really exist? Does it continue to exist today? Why was it founded? What were its purposes? Do they really rule the world? And what are those frightening secret rituals attributed to them? There are claims that they have infiltrated the global economy, politics, technology, media, entertainment, and science. But are these real? If so, are they working to establish a global government? What if freedom as we know it is just an illusion? Today, we will lift the curtain on this ancient legend and separate the facts from the conspiracy theories. Get ready, because what you hear on this journey in the shadows may surprise you. Our story begins in the mid-18th century, during the Age of Enlightenment, when Europe was experiencing an intellectual explosion. This was a period when the authority of the Church and the absolutist monarchies were questioned, and reason and science were on the rise. It was during this period, on May 1st, 1776, that a man named Adam Weishaupt, a university professor in Ingolstadt, Bavaria, founded the Bavarian Illuminati. Although Weishaupt had a Jesuit education, he was against the dogmatic structure of the Church and the despotic rule of the period. His aim was to promote rationality, eliminate superstitions, destroy despotism, and liberate humanity intellectually. And politically, doesn't that sound revolutionary? The Illuminati selected its members in strict secrecy and advanced them within a hierarchical structure. At first, they were influenced by Freemasonry and even aimed to spread their own ideology by infiltrating some. Masonic lodges dealt with the participation of influential figures such as Weishaupt and his right-hand man Baron Adolf von Kagi. The organization spread rapidly. Nobles, intellectuals, and even some statesmen joined the Illuminati. However, this growth caught the attention of the Elector of Bavaria, Karl Theodor, and the Church. The Illuminati were seen as a threat to the existing order. Between 1784 and 1787, decrees were issued that banned the Illuminati, exposed its members, and seized its documents. Weishaupt was exiled, and the original Illuminati disappeared from history. According to most historians, the Illuminati's existence ended at this point. But the story did not end there. On the contrary, the Illuminati legend was just beginning. The chaos and disorder in Europe following the French Revolution provided fertile ground for conspiracy theories. Authors such as Abbé Augustin Barruel and John Robison wrote books depicting the Illuminati as the secret power behind the French Revolution. According to them, the Illuminati was a satanic organization that aimed to overthrow the Church and the monarchy and take over the world. When these claims were combined with the secret structure of the organization and Weishaupt's radical ideals, the shadow of the Illuminati began to surround the entire world. In the 20th century, major events such as 2 world wars, economic crises, and globalization were associated with the Illuminati's goal of establishing a new world order. Claims such as establishing a world government and enslaving people echoed in people's minds. And of course, symbols. Symbols such as the single-eye pyramid owl, and even 666 were interpreted as the secret signs of the Illuminati. Even today, there are those who look for traces of these symbols everywhere, from dollar bills to music videos, from movies to architecture. Popular culture has kept the Illuminati legend alive with works such as Dan Brown's Angels and Demons, intertwining reality with fiction. So what is this Providence Eye? Since their founding in 1776, the Illuminati have sought to enlighten the world by promoting rationality, free expression, and resistance to religious domination and excessive government intervention. Based on Enlightenment ideals, they championed reason and challenged the truths dictated by religious and royal authorities. Their goal was to create a being who could see all things and guide humanity toward true enlightenment. It is thought that this symbol was created to express these goals. So why is this symbol on the dollar? It was added in 1935 during Franklin Roosevelt's presidency as a symbol of the nation's core values. The pyramid represents strength and resilience. Its incomplete form reflects the continuation of the American project and symbolizes continued progress. At the top, the all-seeing eye symbolizes divine oversight. God is watching over and guiding the nation's creation. Annuit Cuptis means he has supported our endeavors. It refers to the belief that God supports the foundation of the nation. Novus Ordo Seclorum means new order of the ages and refers to the establishment of a new political and social system with the birth of the United States. A clear break from the old European order. However, there is no historical evidence that Weishaupt's Illuminati used this emblem. The all-seeing eye appears in many global contexts. In some Christian churches, the eye within the triangle represents God in the Holy Trinity surrounded by rays of light, as seen in the Aachen Cathedral. It also appears in the 1789 Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, a key document of the French Revolution. Do the Illuminati really rule the world? Conspiracy theorists claim that the Illuminati control financial institutions, international organizations, major corporations, and the media. Political leaders, even U.S. presidents, are believed to be members or puppets of the Illuminati. It is said that major historical events, assassinations and wars were planned by this secret organization. However, when we approach it from a critical perspective, we see that these claims lack concrete and verifiable evidence. It is practically impossible for such a large conspiracy on a global scale to be kept completely secret by so many people for so long. Due to human nature, leaks, internal conflicts, and mistakes are inevitable. Furthermore, world history is full of random and chaotic elements rather than being part of a single plan. The situation is even more striking when it comes to secret rituals. Conspiracy theories attribute dark practices such as Satanism, occultism, human sacrifice, and mind control to the Illuminati. However, the rituals of the original Illuminati were inspired by Masonic rituals and focused on reason, virtue, and enlightenment. They did not contain occult or satanic elements. The symbols are generally general symbols that come from different cultures and beliefs and were later associated with the Illuminati. At this point.
To order, brethren! To order, brethren, to receive the most worshipful and grand master.
It is necessary to mention the Illuminati's relationship with Masonry. There were historical intersections between the two organizations. Weishaupt tried to infiltrate the Masonic lodges, and some Masons joined the Illuminati. It is also true that they used similar hierarchical structures, a sense of secrecy, and symbolic language. However, we cannot ignore the fundamental differences. While Masonry focused primarily on moral and intellectual development, brotherhood, and philanthropy. The Illuminati had more radical political and social change goals. While Masonry was an organization whose existence was open, but whose rituals and member identities were secret, the original Illuminati aimed to remain completely secret. While Masonry was a global organization that existed for centuries, the original Illuminati had a much shorter life. Although conspiracy theories see Masonry as a lower or upper echelon of the Illuminati, it is clear that historically this relationship was complex and that the Illuminati did not have definitive control over Masonry. There is no concrete evidence that the Illuminati continues to exist today. There are many groups and websites on the internet that call themselves Illuminati and try to recruit members or run scams, but they have no direct connection to the original 18th century organization. So, why is the Illuminati myth still so popular? The search for mystery and curiosity for the unknown in human nature are the biggest reasons. The need to simplify and make sense of world events is also important. The desire to find a single simple cause for complex global problems makes conspiracy theories attractive. In addition, individuals' lack of control over their own lives can lead them to believe in the existence of a hidden power that directs global events. And of course, there's the entertainment value spread by popular culture and social media. As a result, the Illuminati was short-lived as a historical organization and disbanded. However, the conspiracy theories that emerged after its dissolution transformed it far beyond its historical reality into a global manipulator, a shadow government. The truth is that the modern world is full of complex and multi-layered power. Relations. Governments, multinational corporations, non-governmental organizations, lobbies, and international organizations are the actors that shape world politics and economics. However, none of these structures are governed by a single, central and all-controlling, hidden hand of the kind attributed to the Illuminati. Rather, the Illuminati are a reflection of humanity's ancient fears of the unknown, the mysterious and the great powers, and its search for conspiracies. The Illuminati myth shows us not only a historical mystery, but also the complexity of human psychology and the way we understand social events. The ability to distinguish reality from fiction, to think critically, and to make judgments based on evidence is the key to dealing with such myths. The Illuminati, rather than being a living organization, continues to live on as a product of our collective subconscious, a mythological figure of the modern age. I hope this video has helped you to see the Illuminati myth differently. Keep following your curiosity, but always evaluate what you hear with a critical eye. See you in the next video.